Hello and welcome. Welcome back to a new video. In this video, I go back to Germany to visit my boyfriend as well as my cat. So finally going back home. And unexpectedly, this trip turned out to be much longer than I thought of, but stay tuned to what happened to me. And my current read is Foxwife, which I read while I was flying. And one little tradition or guilty pleasure is that we always enjoy breakfast in bed. Of course, throughout the whole weekend, I spent as much time as possible with the cats. And we even tried out a little game with them where we hid some snacks underneath a towel and they had to get it. And at first, I thought it was pretty easy for them, but it was really interesting to see how hard they had to think to get to the food. Then we explored the area around Heilbronn a bit more to look for some potential houses. And I have to say, these little villages are just super romantic with the old houses all around. And since it's also super hot in Germany, we enjoyed some ice cream. The surrounding area from Heilbronn, it's known for its wine. And right now is the season where you can already see the grapes on the vines, but they're not quite ready, but still it's very nice and I really love the atmosphere, especially at sunset. And in this area you have a mix of blue and green grapes. And here's some behind the scenes that not everything I plan in my head works out the way I think. And that day we got really lucky because by pure coincidence, we walked right to a little wine fest, which is just a local fest where some of the wineries showcase their wine and you also have other foods and drinks. I went for a grapefruit slushy, which was kind of just normal grape juice, but still it was quite good. And for this event, there were not just normal parking spots, but also just a parking area just for bikes. And of course, when we came back, we had to give them lots more snuggles and also enjoyed a round of dart. Finally, but I lost 1-2 against my boyfriend. Heilbronn unfortunately does not have a ocean nearby, so we decided for the next best thing to go to the public pool. And I also got to read a bit more and just soak up the sun and enjoy spending time together. And of course there must be balance. We had some grapes, but also got some fries from the kiosk. Originally, the plan was for me just to spend the weekend in Germany and then on Sunday evening fly back to Barcelona. But it already started bad. The flight back already was delayed a little bit. But then when we wanted to take off, somebody fainted. And then, of course, even though they got back up right away, they had to call the ambulance and it took them a long time to figure everything out. So in the end, we had around 2 hours of delay. So the pilot told us we could not depart any longer because it was getting too late. So we could not land in Barcelona or fly over the Alps any longer. So I knew, okay, today I'm not going back to Barcelona, but I did not panic or anything right away because usually the airline should rebook you automatically, even though if it's not on Sunday, maybe then on Monday in the morning. So I just got a rental car, got back home, but still I did not receive any email for the rebooking when I tried it myself. It also did not work, so I tried to call the airline, and I don't know if it was because it was late or I don't know, but they just hang up. So in the end, I decided, okay, let's just call it a night. I'm going to sleep and figure everything out on the next day. And on the next day, I reached somebody on the hotline, but they said there were no flights any longer on Monday, so they could only rebook me for Tuesday. It's okay. I think if that's the best case scenario, I will take it. Because of course, Barcelona is a little bit too far to drive or take a train or anything. And then because of that, unexpectedly, I got to spend a lot more time in Germany with my boyfriend and my cats. And on that side, I got really lucky and just made the most of it. Since my boyfriend still had to work, I mostly enjoyed the day spending more time with my cats. And also just running some errands that I usually never have time for. For example, I did fix the scratch trees for my cats, which really have been bothering. They like it very much, but you can also see that they're in good use. So I decided to buy new rope and exchange it with the old one. And of course, since cats are super curious, this was also a project I did with them together. And even though it's not the exact same color, I think it turned out quite neat. And now we'll just see how it holds up with time. And in the late afternoon, we decided to do another stroll around the city and just enjoy the sunset there with the river. Unfortunately, you cannot swim in the river, but still it has a very peaceful atmosphere. And in that week, I also decided to start a new DIY project, which is this lemon vase. Maybe you've seen it before. I think it went quite viral, and there are also lots of dupes that you can buy. But I decided I wanted to try it to make it myself. So this is the base of the vase, which I struggled with a bit because the air-dry clay is not so sturdy. So I had to find a way to hold it up while I was building up the vase. And here you can see me making all the little lemons. I think in total I used 500 grams of air-dry clay just for the lemons, but I'm still not quite sure if I made enough. But yeah, you can see it's basically just a lot of smoothing out, trying to shape it as best as possible in a lemon shape. They are all lemon halves, and at least in that way, it is very forgiving because, of course, not every lemon looks the same. So it's okay if they're more like sisters than twins. And while I'm working on those tedious projects, I really enjoy listening to an audiobook. And right now, or while I'm doing this, I was listening to Project Hail Mary, which I have to say I really enjoyed. It had some emotional parts. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and now I'm thinking if I should also watch the movie, but maybe sometimes it's a little bit better when you wait a little bit so you don't remember everything so clearly and get upset when not everything is the same as it was written in the books. So this was the uncut version, how long it took me to make one lemon. And now I wish it was that fast in real life, but you can see how the amount of lemon starts to grow. But it's, of course, a lot sped up right now. So in the end, I made around 30 lemons, and the next step is to smooth everything out as best as possible. I hope you enjoyed the video and stay tuned to see how the vase will turn out. I will give you a progress at least next week. I'm not too sure if it will be already done, but at least you get to see the progress I'm making throughout the weeks. And in general, I hope you enjoyed the video and I see you in the next one.